So we're leaving in about 6 weeks on a 4.5 month trip, and there's a few maintenance issues I want to tidy up. So in the last episode we covered off a few topics to do with trip prep. We're going to continue in this episode. A few things I've been a little bit concerned about is just to try and stop stones coming up in between the stone stomper and the tray. But of course, it's never that simple. So we can't physically get the drill in there. Okay, now we've got the fuel filler to contend with as well. So this side will be worse. It's never easy, is it? Never easy. This will continue until the day we leave. Anything we can do before we leave to minimise damage and make your trip a bit easier is definitely worthwhile. So this is the thirsty Nomad. So it's all buttoned up under there. We had no leaks. First goes, that was amazing. Cheers. So this is just a mud flap I had on the FJ Cruiser. I'm going to reuse the actual mud flap part. It's pretty expensive to buy and there's nothing wrong with it. So we'll get rid of this old mounting system here. We're going to bolt it directly to the back of the tail light protector on Triple M tray. I'm going to use a couple of rib nuts. I'll show you how a rib nut works. If you're a home handyman, you've got a shed and a few tools laying around, and you don't have a rib nut tool and rib nuts, you will go and get one after watching this. Super handy little bit of gear. So we'll get them going, pull these apart, make sure they're going to be the right size, and yeah, let's do it. Righto, so these are little rib nuts. They're just a steel insert. So a 6mm bolt is an 11mm rib nut. So you've got to drill an 11mm hole that takes that rib nut. So how it works is you drill the hole, the little rib nut goes in, you have what's called a puller. It screws onto the end, and when you pull that through, I'll just do one so you can see, and it actually crimps and grabs hold of the substrate that you're trying to fix to. So you don't need to put a nut at the back. So when you're adding and removing bolts, it's a simple one-handed job. So we're going to use those to hold those mud flaps on the back of the tail light covers. So we'll drill that hole out. So follow me down in here. You can just get it so we can see right in there, Darwin. So we'll drill that hole out, but of course it's never that simple. So we can't physically get the drill in there. However, I can do that one. So we'll drill this one out, and we'll do it risky because if I go too far, it is definitely going to go through the back of the tail light. So this will be exciting. Oh, that's risky. Very risky. Oh my. Okay. Right. As for the other one, we'll come back to that. I'll work that out.
Yeah, what did you just do?
I nearly went through the back of the tail light. So risky.
Why did you do that anyways?
I don't know, I'm a fool.
You are a fool. People won't want to watch this. They'll think you're a silly goose.
You're still recording? That's not very nice. Righto.
No, you're only going to cut that video out.
Right, solution. I do own an angle drill. Admittedly, not everyone's going to have one of these, and I hardly ever do use it, but I have got a use for it right now. So we'll try and drill this out again, and without drilling through the back of the tail light like I nearly just did. Much more controlled. We'll grab a rib nut. Righto, so screw the rib nut on. Insert that into the hole you drilled. Squeeze the rib nut tool. Unscrew the rib nut tool from the rib nut, and you can simply screw your bolt in there. So it's super simple. Come in here and see if you can, hopefully you can see that. So give it a good squeeze. And we screw it in a bit further. Give it another little bit. And that's never coming out. Bolt screws in. to contend with as well. So this side will be worse. It's never easy, is it? Never easy though. Okay. Right, let's take the fuel filler off. That's it's made a really simple 5-minute job into not a 5-minute job. Righto. Righto. Fuel filler should come off now. Yes, right. What did I do with that drill? There it is, look. Lucky it wasn't a snake. It definitely would have bit me. Right, so we'll drill this last hole. The other side. A really good way to wreck a tail light, that would be. It would make for a great story, but not today. Fuel filler back on. Or for 10 seconds work. God, awkward. Surely this will be easy. Righto, we'll nip them up and we'll get on to fixing these mud flaps on. So we'll drill some holes in the mud flaps to go into those rib nut holes. Look, it's not really the prettiest thing, but they're mud flaps, and just being able to protect that caravan as much as humanly possible is going to be worth it. So it is one of those things. It's 2 6mm bolts on each side. Back them out, they can come off. Not much different to taking the stone snopper off, really. So yeah, pretty simple. We're going to do a bit more stone protection on the van. We'll crawl under and I'll show you a few little things that are lacking in there. Like I said, we've done this before. Stone damage is the worst damage that you're probably going to get touring in Outback Australia with a big caravan. Obviously we're not doing hardcore 4x4 tracks, but it's the stone damage that probably does more damage than even those. Yeah, another little one ticked off the list. Let's get on to the next thing. Just going to take a quick break here, guys, to show you the quick fit brackets, including heavy duty attachment points. It is as easy as what it looks on screen. The heavy duty attachment points also offer a handy tie down point. I'll put a link at the end of the video so you can go and check them out. Righto, let's get back to it. Righto, next thing is a water filter for the caravan. We've been looking to do this for a while. We've never had one in any other caravan or camp trailer we've had. So this is the Thirsty Nomad. I got this from my generator. I'll put a link in the comments below if you want any more info on that. So this takes it one step further than just being a water filter. This is actually a water purifier. So it says on the side of the box, unlike many filters, the Thirsty Nomad disinfects microbiological, unsafe water into pure and safe, healthy drinking water. So to go along with this, you probably use just a water filter to fill your tanks up with, in line with your hose, and then this will do the rest of the work for you. I was going to put this just after the pump, so shower and the hot water service was filtered water, but it does state on the box to only put it on your cold drinking water tap, and it's probably because of, one, be the pressure loss it would probably give to your hot water service and your hot water. Two, it is rated for 7,500 litres of water, so if you're running all your water through it, it probably just shortens its lifespan. So we're going to put it under the sink on the cold water drinking tap like it states. So in the box you have your filter, we have clips, so this should make it relatively easy to install. If we can find somewhere to screw those clips on, the filter will clip onto that. Comes with all plastic fittings you will probably need. Depending on how your hoses are set up, we may not need anything else. So we'll have a look underneath, show you how I install it, and we'll give it a test and see how it goes. Righto, let's do it. So you can only mount this in one direction. It can be mounted horizontal or vertical as long as the water flows in the bigger end, out the smaller end to your tap, you're sweet. You do get little brass fittings that screw into the housing, and it does state in the instructions to only do these up by hand. Obviously a plastic housing versus a brass fitting, if you put a spanner on that and swing off it, you're just going to crack the housing. So the little brass fittings have little O-rings on them, so the seal should be fine, but we'll obviously test that once we get it all together. Now the inlet side will need a John Guest push-in fitting on it, which they do come with. It's a great little kit. It is really designed to go under the sink. You can see that one of these right-angled John Guest fittings will go on the inlet side. The outlet side, the actual cold tap brass fitting on the flexible hose will screw straight onto the water filter. So it's a super simple little install DIY job. If you don't have one in your van, it's probably worth looking at. Pretty cost effective. I think it's around $100 off my generator. Like I said, there's a link in the comments below if you want to check out more after the video. So we'll run through how we installed it. I marked the little clips where I wanted them located, making sure all the hoses were going to be long enough. We then put a screw in those clips. Now back the screw back out and put a little bit of silicone behind it. All these caravans are made like of a composite material these days. Even the furniture is like a really lightweight ply. So once we've done that, we'll cut the hose to length on the inlet side. The outlet side to the tap will screw straight onto that brass fitting. We'll check it for leaks, and we'll have a drink and see if we can notice any difference in the taste. I say that as a joke, but you never know. These tanks have been pretty good for taste. We haven't really noticed a huge amount. Some of the plastic tanks in a lot of vans can be pretty horrible, so I would imagine that this would help that as well. So anyway, let's do it. We'll get this installed and then we can move on to the next thing, another one to tick off the list. So we're all buttoned up down below. We had no leaks, which was quite amazing. There is a downside to adding this water filter, I have noticed, and that it does limit your flow. Now it does say this on the box and in the instructions that at 55 psi it will flow 4 litres a minute. Now my pump is an 11 litre a minute pump, but at 45 psi, so it is a lower pressure psi pump than to what it says in the instructions for 4 litres a minute. Now that's your hot water side. So the hot water side doesn't have the filter on it, so that's our normal flow rate. Going across to the cold water side, you can see that it does limit the flow quite a bit. Now, I mean, it is one of those things, the fact that it limits the flow so much means it is actually filtering something. You can't have it both ways. For that water to be filtered, it has to go through so many different fine mediums that it is going to put more pressure on the pump. The fact that it is only on the drinking water tap, we can probably live with it. So as we're talking here, we're filling up a cup of water and we've just finished the sentence and you got a full cup of water. So it's not really an issue. It's only for the drinking water side of it. The external tap outside is still at its normal flow rate. Your hot water is still at its normal flow rate, and your shower will still be at its normal flow rate. So I can live with that. If it ever does get blocked and you don't have another one, the fact that it uses pretty much the same fittings as what it had in there before, or it actually does, you'll be able to just bypass that filter really easily. You still leave it in place. They do say you get 7,500 litres out of one of those filters, which for most people in the amount that we actually use these caravans is a long time. It's a sad but true fact. The caravans generally sit around at home more than they do get used out in the real world. So we'll try the water anyway, and hopefully I can notice any kind of difference. Without sounding like it's a real gimmick, that is really good. There's no taste in that water at all. It tastes like filtered water. I can't notice or distinguish any taste in that water whatsoever, and that's pretty good coming from a caravan water tank. So I really believe that this is going to work, being a purifier, not just a filter, and the slower flow rate we can handle, being that it is just for drinking water. So that's a wrap, guys. I think that's well worth $100. Give you that peace of mind. If you get sick from water poisoning when you're away on a trip, that's a showstopper. So if any of you guys have been sick from water poisoning, comment below and share it with the rest of us, and really it can help educate people about how sick you can get from dodgy water and how this is a worthwhile addition to your caravan if you don't already have one in it. Alright guys, that's a wrap for this episode of Trip Prep. We're going to leave it there. There's heaps of other little things we're going to cover before we go. Like I said, we're going to keep doing anything we can to make our trip safer and prevent any damage on the road. We're out there to have a good time once we leave, not to work on the car in the caravan, or at least that's the plan. So remember guys, you only live once. Get out there and enjoy it. Cheers.